Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition. It's Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours of infotainment. Thanks for being out there. 92.1, 1017, the old terrestrial radio. Appreciate you very much. Maybe you're using the free download, the iHeartRadio app. If you are, FYI, we're worldwide. And you might be in some amazing part of the world right now going, yeah, duh. I know you're in South Florida and I am not. And if that's the case, thank you very much. We appreciate you. And of course, there are cameras set up in here. There's a lot of activity before the show so that we can live stream. Join us if you'd like. That's Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC. That's home of a ton of informational chunk videos there on YouTube, plus a live stream on a Saturday. If you're there out the gates, thank you very much. If you're not, you can always join at any time. And of course, speaking of joining, be a part of the program live on this 27th day of June. If you got questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate, don't be shy. You want to be involved in the conversation at hand? Easy for me to say. 877-927-6969. If you dial in, the first voice you'll hear the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire, my brother from another mother. What's up, Jimothy?
Good morning, Johnny. How you doing today, bud?
I'm all right. I'm a little hoarse. Do you hear that
hoarse?
a little bit?
Oh,
Hey.
oh, Nelly.
I don't hear. I didn't realize it until.
No concert last night?
No.
That's usually.
I went on a turtle walk last night.
Ah, very nice.
Dude, it was one of the most amazing nights in a long time.
That's awesome.
Watching a loggerhead squeeze out 100 eggs.
Oh, okay.
Like-
so
like-
you went to see a hatch?
Dude, literally, not a hatch. No, they didn't hatch. But
It was an egg laying.
Laying the
Oh. The opposite side.
the before the hatch.
Okay.
Dude, I was feet from it. Feet from it. I could reach out and grab an egg if I wanted to. It was amazing.
What a coincidence. We stopped at the Loggerhead Marina. It's up on US 1, not far from here.
Love that place.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's
Neat, yeah.
and thanks for going by. They appreciate you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice to see you as always.
Good to see you as well, John.
Yeah, so I wasn't yelling or anything. It's not whoa, way to drop them out, baby. No, not at all. I don't understand what it'll probably clear.
Yeah, awesome. Were people there that marked it off? And then
No, they don't mark them. They don't. If you're interested, I'll share with you for sure.
Okay.
Nice to see you.
We'll talk off.
Yeah, or we can talk on air too. But let's get everybody else involved.
Yeah.
Johnny C, that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. I'm the guy that went and saw a turtle squeeze out 100 eggs last night. Mike Rouse right here. I don't know if you've ever seen it. He's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. You ever done that, Mike?
It's on my bucket list.
Dude, so cool.
Yeah.
So
Watch a turtle lay eggs. I've seen it on video.
if I can recommend MacArthur State Park,
Yeah, great
Yep.
place. Love it.
they get a permit through the FWC so that you can be right there when it happens. And they got it down. The ranger there, Ari, the volunteers, amazing. Just what an amazing night.
And mom didn't seem to mind
Loved it.
the watching.
Oh,
Not your mom.
I don't-
sorry.
I was gonna say-
the turtle mom.
no, I know. No, there's an understanding of how to do this without bothering them.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really fascinating.
You guys
Learned a lot about
Wearing
it.
like camo and like
No,
put on the
I wanted
ink
to.
on your face.
I was
Sand.
I was gonna. Yes, it looks like desert. Yeah, definitely do it though. And
Okay.
do it at MacArthur Beach. I'm telling you right now.
Maybe you're hoarse this morning because normally you do a lot of yelling at night, and then last night you couldn't.
I
do it.
didn't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Now you got to get it out.
I gotta
So
get
you're
it up a little bit.
you're a little under the weather. Your voice is a little hoarse. I have a hangnail.
Do you really?
Yeah. It's really bothering.
Dude,
me,
those are
this hangnail.
underrated on the things you don't want to get. By the way.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go home.
You know,
It's
just
terrible.
you like go into your pocket and it's
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
So
terrible.
you and I are both struggling this morning.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on the level of things that you have to deal with, nobody's going to really probably surpass us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Truth be told. Good morning to Chris Peterson. If you listened, I don't know, about a month ago, we established he's a pivotal cog of the Florida Home Pros team. Yeah. I almost refer to him as like the cog piece in a way. Yeah. Good morning, Chris. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I'm awesome. I'm fresh off the heels of seeing 100 turtle eggs squeezed out of a loggerhead.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. We down on Hollywood Beach, we got a little place there, and they've got all the little turtle nesting areas. Some of them are roped off right there in front of our place, so we get to experience it as well. It's pretty cool.
You like look out over it and see it happening.
Yeah, I mean it happens at night, as you know. But but they come in and there's actually a little quad that goes up and down the beach with the orange bright lights on, and they're monitoring for turtles coming up onto the beach to nest and so forth. And then if it's in a high traffic area, they'll rope it off so that obviously they don't get trampled and disturbed. So
amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of care for these critters, and
it's awesome.
We're blessed. We have a cool beach where a lot of turtles come up and nest there.
Now you got to do the reverse and go for hatching.
Yeah.
You know, and that my wife saw one of those. Well, we were down by Lauderdale to see. I stayed back, but she went right up to them and they helped. And of course, they guide them down to the water to make sure they go the right way.
I want it.
How
do you not pocket one of those things? Where like, you're going home with me, dude. You're making it.
You don't want that fine.
Exactly. 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,000 hatchlings will make it to maturity, which is 20 years old. Meaning they'll then start coming up and nest. Right. 1 in 1,000. There's about 100 eggs in a nest. So one of those boogers in 10 nests will make it to 20 to come up and lay more eggs.
Right.
One.
And I wonder how quick the rest of them don't make it. Like, are they?
I know.
Is it a couple days? A couple
like
weeks?
the little guys, even like seagulls are like mine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's
the circle of life.
Yeah, truly. Mother Nature.
Chris, you got any ailments this morning? Anything bothering you?
Just stub your toe or anything?
No, I can't say I did anything like that. No. I'm probably just I'm still sore from last weekend. I hate to say it. I'm getting old, but I was slaving away at a house, doing floors and painting and all kinds of renovation work. So I think I'm still a little tired from that.
But I don't even know why you're here. That's crazy to me. Oh my goodness. And last but not least, our fearless leader, 14 years now, I've told you he runs a top producing team, the Florida Home Pros team, pivotal cog over here, part of it, Chris Peterson. There's Jimmy D, Jim DePola.
Hey, man.
Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey, I'm doing okay. You're getting me hungry talking about these turtle hatchlings. I love going down there and grabbing them to eat. And I hear that turtle fin soup is awesome.
Wow. Those shells are like soft.
Right. That's why only one out of 1,000 make it, because I'm down there eating them.
There's a joke I know. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but the punchline is it kind of tastes like a cross between a California condor and a manatee.
Bald eagle.
Yeah.
We're joking, people. We're joking. Of course I would not. That would be pretty amazing experience. I have to do that. You got me inspired trying to go down there and check that out during this season.
So they I guess it used to be like $5-10 a head, and you had to pay a little bit in advance, and people would just like not show. They're like, it's $5, $10. So they make it $25 a ticket. They're like, people show up. They had I don't know, like 20 people sign up last night. You have to sign up ahead of time. And it was me and my wife.
That was it?
And the volunteers and the ranger.
Wow.
Wait, they're like, nobody else. They've never had this happen before. Wow. I mean, they got their money. So they're like, you guys ready?
That's a first class experience right there.
It was amazing. We had such one-on-one, and I'm a dork. I will ask 1,000 questions. So they're like, my wife's like, oh, great. This is awesome. He's fun. So I did the whole time.
Like, how many more you think will come out?
and so they do like an introduction. So I stepped in. It's just us. I'm like, well, I'm Johnny. This is my wife. And I'm like, and by the way, everybody didn't show up. They're missing the most amazing night. This is gonna be memorable for you in a lot of ways. Besides the fact this is the only one you're gonna do with just two of us, there's gonna be a memorable night. As we're walking the boardwalk, at MacArthur, you got to walk the boardwalk all the way out to the beach from the nature center. If you've never been, the ranger goes, "Would you guys mind walking further than we normally go?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, we walk all the time. Whatever we got to do, let's increase the odds." So he hits the walkie-talkie. The volunteers go out early and kind of scout because you don't want to bother them. You're trying to catch them in the act of nesting. That's the goal, right? So they're like, all right, hey, we can go further than usual. So they're like, you can kind of hear them like, okay. You can almost hear it like, all right. Lo and behold, we like just get to the beach part and they're like, oh, I got one. They called it chambering. So chambering means she's got it dug and like she's getting like ready. And it was just outside of their boundary. Like they would have stopped normally, but they went a little further because they got the go ahead. And it was boom, there she is, ready to go. About 200 pounds, which they said was a pretty good size one. Watched her just do all her work. And then, man, they just bury those things. Amazing how they get it done. Such a big critter.
And then do the volunteers or the center people or anything, did they put the fence around the?
No, they don't mark.
They don't mark it anymore?
I think they said they mark one every 10 or one every 7.
Oh, I thought they used to put like a little circle barrier around there.
So there are
that
some
people
places
wouldn't-
that do, as Chris noted, but at MacArthur, they don't.
Huh.
And we're only able to do this because they get some permitting through the FWC, but they have the red flashlights, and we got right. Like I could have reached down and grabbed the eggs. It was unreal, the experience. They checked for tags. This one was not tagged. She was big. He said she was really big for a loggerhead, but she didn't have a lot of barnacles. Normally they get a lot of barnacles. She was really clean, which looked young, but she was huge, so implies kind of older.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe they sent out a ringer.
Totally right. They're like, let's go set this up. But yeah, they're like, we've it's amazing to find this like right out the gates. It was perfect.
That's cool stuff.
Highly recommend it.
That's awesome. And what Chris was saying about that, how he's really tired after working on construction at one of his places all the time. That reminds me, like when I used to do it full time, either at my house when I was rebuilding it, when I bought my first home, or later when I was doing flips. I call them home improvement hangovers. Right, you don't drink it all or anything, but you just feel like you're hungover the day after because you just worked so hard.
Like you partied for 24 hours straight. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like a home improvement hangover, I used to call them. So we got a lot to talk about today. Thank you so much. We're so glad to be back in the studio together. We've been gone for 2 weeks. So I'm really glad to be back. 2 people this week had told me, are you actually going to have a show anymore? Because they noticed that we had reruns the last 2 weeks. So it was nice to know that people recognized that we weren't live.
Nice
so thank you.
Yeah.
So really happy to be back in the studio with the crew. And next week is July 4th. So we are going to tell you that we are live and real on July 4th. It will not be a rerun. We're all working on July 4th, Independence Day. That's probably my favorite holiday all year for me personally, is July 4th. A lot of good things have happened to me around July 4th over the years, and I don't know why. It just seems like that.
Nice.
Maybe this year something like that will happen this year too. So thank you guys for deciding to come on the show this July 4th, and we're going to be here. So come check us out. We promise we'll have different type of fireworks here. than normal fireworks.
Daytime fireworks are amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's the 250th, 250
sure.
show.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
Yeah.
250 show.
Yeah.
I want to, since we're going to talk about this, I just
And
want
Jim
to
was
say
around for most of them, right?
one of my favorite. Yeah, exactly. One of
He's had
my
a lot of luck.
favorite.
Oh, a lot of luck.
Lot of luck.
One of my favorite stories about this show, dealing with July 4th. One year, I really wanted to really push charity groups and other groups that I really liked that really didn't have anything to do with real estate, but more about the Florida lifestyle and living in Florida. So we had a bunch of people come on the show, just call in that, like one person used to take she lived on the beach. Her name was Kathy. She lived on the beach, and she would take a different beach photo every day. And it was kind of interesting just to watch the different type of photos she took every day and everything. And I thought it was interesting. And I had one guy who I'm into astronomy and all the stuff going on, the James Webb Telescope and all that, all of that stuff.
Oh yeah, you let us know when Mercury's in retrograde.
Oh, I do. It's
Yeah.
coming on next week. But that's astrology, not astronomy.
Oh, true. I'm merging them, aren't I?
But I called there was a jet propulsion laboratory scientist based in Cocoa Beach who had created a app where it was almost like a video game where you go into a rocket ship and then you could follow all the satellites that are going all around, not just satellites, but like Voyager 1, Voyager 2, and you could follow their path and follow their paths and find out what they saw and did, and all that, and where they are at that moment. And you
Nice.
could get in your own rocket ship and go from Voyager 1 to Voyager 2 to all the other ones out there. I thought, this is awesome. We're going to have the guy on the show. So I called him up and he agreed to come on the show. He was going to call in. I sent him an email with all the information of how to call in the phone 877-927-6969. Right. You can call that live right now.
You can.
And we're on the show. And he was one of my favorite guests, like really looking forward to talking to him. He doesn't call. And I kept thinking, what's going on? Why isn't this guy calling me? Well, I get off the show and I see this email from him cursing me out saying, I don't understand why you did this to me. Are you trying to prank me? You know, why would you do this? And he was so mad. He just wrote this really long diatribe about what a jerk I was, right? So I decided, hey, I got to call this guy up, right? So I call him up and he's yelling at me on the phone and I'm listening. I go, do me a favor. Did you use your cell phone? He's like, yeah. I go, look up your cell phone and see the number that you called. Now, you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah,
Johnny knows and Jimmy knows.
Oh, yeah.
Chris doesn't know. Do you know, Mike?
I think I've heard this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you dial, now I don't know if it's the same anyway, but it's a long time. But if you dial 888 instead of 877, it was a male porn site.
Oh, yeah. It straight goes to
MAIL.
Right. So
if you want hot
he
man
called-
on man,
is it?
press
888.
1 now. Are you
So-
in the shower alone waiting for Jimmy D to come and join you? Press 2 now.
Wow.
Are you in the backyard getting a barbecue ready? Bunch of your bros coming over. Gonna lather it up on a Saturday. Press 4 now.
What are they
come
cooking?
play with my rocket ship.
You want to get in the rocket ship? Find out what Voyager's doing? Press 5 now.
Cassini.
It was so funny. So he was saying, he tells me the number. I said, now go look at the email that I sent you. And he looked at it. I go, you're the rocket. I actually said to him, you're the rocket scientist. And then he hung up on me.
He hung up.
Yeah, he hung up on me.
Oh,
He
couldn't
didn't even
deal
say,
with it.
sorry, I made a mistake or anything. He just hung up on me.
Just got cheesy.
I had to say,
bailed.
you're a rocket scientist. I had to say that because he dialed the wrong number.
What is it? 888. What? I'm gonna dial it right now.
Mike's taking notes.
So anyway, that was funny. Every time you think it's July 4th, I think of that guy.
That is hilarious.
It was a
And
really good app too. It was like a really
It's
fun
too
thing to
bad. It
mess
sounds
around
cool,
with.
yeah.
Yeah, it was free, and it was JPL just trying to get people interested in science and
Yeah.
everything.
All
Anyway,
right.
it's pretty wild.
Oh.
Anyway, we got a lot to talk about today for real estate, so I want to get into shout outs because we have so many because we've been gone for 2 weeks. So I want to just start going over them right away. We're going to talk about this interesting thing that's going on right now. Everybody heard about so we're going to talk about shout outs. We're going to talk about SpaceX. SpaceX, that IPO that they just did that turned Musk into a trillionaire plus.
Mhm.
I found out that it's almost 1.5 trillion, not even just barely 1 trillion. He's at above 1.35 trillion right now.
But it's
Before
moving.
the stock went down because
Yeah,
the
then it
stock
went down.
dropped.
Yep.
But he's still well in, he's still a trillionaire, even though they had the stock
Do you
drop.
think he'll be okay?
I guess he'll be
No.
okay. Yeah, I'm a little worried about him. So, but anyway, we're going to talk about that and how it might affect Florida real estate, and we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a little later. I love that Johnny started off with critters, not creepy critters. That's what I like to talk about. But we started with critters. We're also going to talk about python hunting again today. I actually read an article that talked about how much python hunters make for going out into the Everglades and grabbing these pythons, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Dollar wise.
Yeah, dollar, how much they
interesting.
actually make. Yeah, and I was surprised. There's a whole pay scale for that. There's a whole big pay scale.
There's
I
a
thought,
pay
oh, that's
scale.
kind of
How many you get, how big they are, etc.
other
Yeah.
things too, and I was
Nice.
surprised.
Nice.
And sometimes you get paid even if you don't catch anything.
Oh,
And-
that's right up
sign
my
me up
alley.
for that one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I'll
then
just be out there like just hitting the trails.
I mean, you
And-
kind of already did some training last night.
Totally did, right?
Yeah.
And we're also going to talk about jobs report, inflation, and mortgage rates, and where we are right now. We have to do some real estate on the show today because I'm trying to get through the show today. So
We got some
anyway.
advice. There's a comment.
Oh yeah, I'm not
I don't know
seeing
if
the
this is a
comments.
regular listener, but he says, introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Hmm.
That's the advice for this morning.
I wonder who is saying that, because you know what, the
Just
feeds
one of our-
for
one of our
the
listeners.
the chats
maybe-
aren't coming up on the
Oh.
the chats aren't coming up on my link, at least. That's why I'm not saying hey so and so, hey so and so. I haven't.
We might have a little bit of a new audience this morning because there's a lot of people in town for World Cup
Yes,
who wouldn't normally have a chance to listen to us on the radio.
I got to see
sure
the
we're
world.
picking us
I
up.
got to see America's USA's first game at the Circa in Las Vegas, and that was really fun.
I bet so.
The
a
Circa
good
is
crowd
like
event?
one of the best sports books in all of Vegas, not just downtown.
It is, yeah. It's
And it was pretty
well known.
amazing.
Yep.
At the Circa, in order to get into the sports book, if you want to sit in the sports book, you have to pay $25 minimum just for the seat, and then you have to have a minimum of 2 drinks or something.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of interesting. I didn't
It's
think
like
that.
going into a club.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. The setup they have at that
The
place.
size, the scale of the wall.
It's 2 levels. I mean, it's crazy. It's
Is the
2
Circa
full-
one that has the pool?
Yeah, the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do that, but yeah, they had the stadium there.
They have literally, Mike, a wall of like TVs and lines, and like it's an outdoor sports book where there's like a pool, and not like a pool, there's a pool.
6. No, I think there's 3 pools.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
It shows you how much I know about it, but you're in the pool watching all the sports action.
Nice.
Yep,
placing
it's
your
really
bets.
nice.
Nice
And that's,
liner in that pool.
that's one of
I'm
the.
su- I'm sure.
Well, actually, they actually
Very
said
tough. Can't cut it.
that pool. They said
With a knife.
they filter those pools at the Circa 6 times more than required by the health department. So that might be one of the cleaner pools in Vegas.
Oh,
But the other thing different about the Circa is the pools are open year round because they're heated. So most of the
tourists.
no, most of the casinos or hotels, they shut down the pool during the wintertime.
Yeah.
Pool season.
Yeah. So so they have heated pools. But anyway, let's
That's
get into
awesome.
the
That's
shout
cool.
outs.
That's a cool experience. I'm glad you did that.
It was, yeah. And it was really fun just being there and the crowd cheering so loudly and everything. It was just so much
Oh, and
fun.
that's the game they scored 4 goals, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
the most goals.
It was
goals
pretty
ever scored
crazy.
in a World Cup game by the U.S.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So let's get into the shout outs. I want to give a shout out to Dane. Thank you so much for allowing us to sell your townhome. Dane had come to us to sell another home years ago, and he needed to sell this townhome. So we put it on the market. Now, it took us a little time to sell it. It took us 68 days to sell that property, but we got pretty close to asking price on it, even though it took 68 days. And the people that bought it were really, really happy. We had a lot of crazy things happen with that one. He has natural gas water heater and dryer in the house. And when we went under contract and they went for went through an inspection, everybody said they smelt gas. And we found out that the gas line was leaking in the walls of the house. Can you imagine?
No.
Yeah, thank God nobody was living there because, you flick a switch and if there's a spark,
Sure,
that's it.
sure.
Boom, it goes up. So we had to find a gas company. Well, we got the gas company to come out and shut off the gas. Then we had to find somebody to fix the gas line and find the leak, which we didn't know what was going to happen. We thought we were going to have to, God forbid, like start opening up drywall to find the leak and everything. But thank God that didn't have to happen.
What'd they
and
do?
we got it taken care of.
They put
They
like
found out
introduce-
that the leak was actually right at the edge where the main line of the gas line was coming into the house. So we got lucky that it was
Okay.
like right on the edge, so we didn't
Yes,
have
you
to
start,
rip it out.
look at the joints, right?
They-
The connections.
Yeah,
the
but what
unions.
they said there was a way to do it without opening up the wall. And I talked to like 3 gas companies to figure all this out. And Dane was a big help with this because he helped we were both calling gas company or gas fixers, if you will,
Mhm.
trying to find that out. So Dane, thank you so much for trusting us to get that one closed. Bill closed yesterday. Thank you, Bill. This was also another townhome that we had in Boynton Beach. That was that large townhome, Johnny, that was 4-bedroom, 3-bath, I think, 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a garage. And we got that one done and we're really happy. Bill was very, very happy with us. And he moved back out to Texas. That was a weird one for Bill because Bill didn't really want that property. But what he did was he had a relative who was sick and he came in from Texas to live here to take care of a sick relative until they passed.
Yeah.
And so instead of renting, he decided he was going to buy something. I don't always recommend you do that if you're going to only keep the house a year or two because you're not going to have much equity build up and you might end up losing money.
Right.
We got that deal done where he kind of broke even. But what happened with that one, it was funny. We were $10,000 apart on on the deal, right? The buyer and the seller were $10,000 apart, and the seller told me, I know what's going to happen here. We're just going to split the difference, because that's what everybody says, right? You get, you're at you're at four, you're at 500. Somebody else is at 490, so you go in the middle of 495. But he really, really wanted a certain price, so I said, okay, I'll go ahead and cave in if I have to, but let me try. So I went back and forth a couple of times, and I used certain language that I call proprietary. So I'm not going to talk about it on the show.
Oh,
But we actually got the seller to agree to give us the price that we want, of the buyer to give us the price that we wanted. So I called back Bill and I said, hey, I know you wanted this price and they wanted this price. So I did the best I can. He goes, okay, so you split it down the middle, right? And I go, no, I got you what you asked for. And
Yeah,
he's like, oh, I'm so happy.
The
So
best I can is I got what you want.
yeah, I got what you asked for. So
some
that's
sort
what she
of
asked me to do.
Jedi mind trick. Is that like, is it like that? Like
A
you
little
will
bit.
give us.
A little bit. There's certain things I learned over the years of doing so many deals that you can say certain things or negotiate a certain way, and you'll get maybe a little better result. I'm not talking about if you're so far apart that it's really going to make a difference, but when you're close,
Yeah.
it all depends on the motivation of the buyer, how motivated the buyer wants that property. And the way I set it up, this determines how motivated they are. And if they had said no and they wanted just to split the difference, I would have called Bill back and said, look, I'm trying. Do you want me to just go ahead and go forward with it? But we didn't have to do that. So I was really happy for Bill. Bill did. Here's another thing. Bill used Trident Title, thank God, to close.
Mm-hmm.
Bill had to leave out of the state during the closing. He didn't have to fly back or anything, and all that expense and aggravation of coming back here, not having a place to live while he was just here to sign some documents and leave. We had Trident Title set up a closing out in Texas for him.
Beautiful.
And now he's moving out of the country for his job, and I'm really happy for him. So thank you for trusting me.
Yes.
He did not know us from the radio show. He was just a random caller.
Mm.
So it wasn't like he had a background with us. He didn't really know us very well. He's a techie. He's in the tech field.
Mm-hmm.
So he's very logical. I call it Dr. Spock thinking. And so I was a number. So when I work with him, even though it took a little while to sell it, about 70 days, about the same amount as Dane's property, even though that we had that, he trusted me because I was so good with the numbers. Like every time I called him to tell him an update of what was going on, I wasn't just talking about his property or his little neighborhood. I was talking about all the competition of what people could buy outside his neighborhood that were comparable to his,
Sure.
to make him feel comfortable that we were doing the best, even when we weren't selling it at that point.
Relevant stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really important.
Did he consider keeping it and renting it out? Was it could it have cash flowed positive for him? Because you said he was breaking even on the sale. So I'm like,
yeah,
maybe you.
We went that. It's a good question, Mike. We went when I sit down when somebody isn't sure if they want to rent or sell.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very easy way to figure that out. And so we took out all the math. We figured out what the rental rates would be and how much he would net every single month on that. And then we looked at the appreciation that he got over the last year or two on the property, if any, right? And then we showed him what he could make if he sold right now, and then see if there was a difference. And the guy's living out of state, and he knew he was moving out of country, and he didn't really want an obligation of having been a absentee landlord, like in a
Okay.
while he's in South America and he's got a property up here
Right.
that he didn't really want in the first place. It was just something for him to stay in while he took care of his relatives. So thank you, Bill, for trusting us. Then we had Cody. Cody is an interesting guy because about 6 years ago, I tried to help him find a property and the whole thing fell apart. And Cody didn't end up using me, and he ended up buying a property without me at that time. And I haven't really talked to him in a long time. And all of a sudden, he called me up. He called me up about a couple weeks ago, just a few weeks, like less than a month ago, I think, or maybe about a month ago. And he goes, hey, I'm looking for properties that I can buy cash and I can get 1% of the total purchase price back as a rental. That's his business model. And he had already bought like 3 of these rental properties in different areas that are doing that. And he was very satisfied with the results. So he found a neighborhood that he wanted to be in. And we went out there, we found a property he absolutely loved right away. But we were just about to turn in the offer, and there was a bidding war, and we couldn't make that deal close. So what we did was we kept that one on hold because they didn't take an offer yet, and we found another one that had just popped up, and we ended up buying that one instead. And he was really happy with it, and we closed about a week ago. And thank you, Cody, for trusting us. And we're probably going to be doing another one or two deals. He's thinking about selling one of his rental properties in Boynton that's right across the street from our office, and then buying another unit in that same neighborhood. Hint, hint, Chris, I'm going to be talking to you about that later so that you could help Cody out with that. And then finally for me, because we have one more shout out after this, is Carlos. Carlos came to us, Mike, I didn't know this. Carlos came to us 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I couldn't have pulled 6 out, but we've
time
talked
ago.
to him several years back.
I thought it was like 18 months ago, Chris. I remembered him when he called because he called from a friend of the show, Tony. Thank you, Tony, for referring Carlos out. And Tony called up, he goes, I have a friend that's in the health field, and he really wants to buy a property. I told him, you're the guy that's going to help him. He was a first-time home buyer.
Nice, thanks.
We got him over to Mike. At that time, the numbers didn't work, and timing wasn't right. And all of a sudden, he called me right before I went on vacation, or maybe right after. No, right before I went on vacation. Mike got him the pre-approval on the mortgage app. And then as soon as I got back on Monday, he said to me, I've got 2 weeks to buy, and if I can't buy in 2 weeks, I got to re-up my lease. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was going to be that quick.
Jeepers.
So
Well, it wasn't. Remember, we talked to him because he was still saying like, hey, you know what, this year, he's like the home buyer we kind of talk about sometimes, which is, you're a buyer. There's no urgency. You want to buy, but only when the right opportunity presents itself.
Sure.
So when I did his pre-approval, Jim, I even left it and, gave you information saying, hey, listen, he's good to go now. He's kind of like green flag across the board. But he's probably not going to be doing anything till later this year, maybe even early 2027. That's kind of how we left it. And then you go on your trip,
go on my
and then
vacation.
you come back.
I didn't even call him after he got the mortgage approval because I figured, I'll call him when I get back in town, and then we'll set up searches, and then he'll have several months to know the market, and then he'll find a property.
Yeah.
But then he calls me, I think it was the day before I left to go home, and he's like, I got to do something in 2 weeks. And I'm like, what?
That's a big change.
And
Deer
I'm
in the
like,
headlights.
well, we got very, very lucky. He told me a property that was in his mom's neighborhood in Port St. Lucie, right by Jennings Road. You could see the tower right from his backyard, right?
Nice. That's,
And,
that's
it brought
old
back
school, old school real radio right there.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jennings Road used to be where we used to broadcast for many, many years.
Yeah.
I still like that studio. I miss that studio in a way. I don't miss the drive,
Sure.
but I miss the studio.
Yeah.
And,
you miss the memories.
I miss the
what it was.
the lizard on the wall.
Yeah, and the mold.
Oh, and the mold.
Yeah,
And the
I think I missed
mold
that
and the
more
water
than-
leaks. Remember, used to flood once in a while if it rained too hard. I was like, this is a radio station that got water everywhere.
That's
right?
what I miss more than anything, just being sick
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah.
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 So anyway, he says, hey, there's a house in my mom's street and it just went up for sale. So I went to look for it. I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I was like, it's one of those properties that aren't on the market, where certain brokerages now, they keep the properties off the MLS. Makes it very hard to find out all the properties that are available. So I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I said to him, can you have your mom take a picture of the for sale sign? Because there was a for sale sign in the front yard, and then send it over to me. I'll find it out. Found the agent. They weren't keeping it off the market. They were just waiting for the photos to be shot. I got him to agree to let us show the property the day the photos were being shot. So nobody had seen it yet. And then I walked in and I talked to the owner. We looked at the property. It was a really nice property, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool. It was a little dated. It had a 2006 roof. That was the big issue. And everything looked like it was okay. Then I waited for Carlos to come meet me with the owner. And when the owner saw Carlos, he was like, you're buying the property? And Carlos is like, I'm thinking about buying the property. And Carlos grew up next door to this property. His mom lives next door to this property. And when Carlos was a kid, he used to go swimming in this pool all the time.
That's awesome.
So the family knew each other so well.
With permission, he was swimming. in
I
the-
assume with permission. Nobody said otherwise, right?
With the exception of a late night escapade.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I wouldn't sell this property to you for $1 million. So anyway, it worked out well. We're in contract. We're going to do the inspection on Monday. We worked out the roof issue. So Carlos is getting a big credit towards the roof. We're sure that the roof is probably not going to pass useful life. But using Mike and Ross Camarinez from Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach, the only one.
I mean, talk about stars aligning, right? So he's pre-approved. He's in the app. He's going to talk to you about getting set up to see active listings. And just as he's done all that, and he's in great shape, the property next to his parents' home comes up for sale, and it's a situation where he wants to do that. Like some people, maybe Johnny, you wouldn't want to live next to your parents.
No, but that's like desirable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the
if
closer
you-
the better.
Yeah, I mean, it's like how many of us would love an opportunity?
It's so true, and
know.
it was so fast. I didn't get to do my normal buyer consultation. I had to explain like the difference in the tax bill really quickly. I had to do everything super fast, right? But we got it done, and that's what matters. So 48 hours after he told me about that house, we were in contract. Monday, we'll do the inspection. If everything goes well, the end of July, he's going to be closing.
Nice.
Cross your fingers.
And then,
knock on wood.
yep, knock on
Mhm.
wood, cross your fingers.
Yeah.
And then Chris has a shout out too, and I'm so happy about this one. This is a special one to me also. Could you give the shout
Actually, I
out,
have
Chris?
2 shout outs, but I'll start with
Oh,
that one
okay,
first.
yes,
Yeah. So
please.
about a month and a half ago, Liesel and Albert came to us. They found out they needed to get out of their rental property. Their landlord was going through a divorce and needed to sell the property. So they started off their journey as we need to find a rental property as soon as possible. And with the help of Mike and we were like, you know what, you might actually be able to purchase a home for less than what you would outlay for renting a home. And so they quickly pivoted from renting mindset to, oh boy, we're doing this. We're buying a property. So we had a couple of, went on a journey, had a couple properties fall through that didn't quite work right. And we ended up getting them under contract back at the end of May. And we closed on Thursday this week. So they are official homeowners now. And the best part about this story too is, guess how much it cost them to get into that house?
Mike, do you want to say?
I mean, I know the answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Out of pocket,
Mhm.
40.
Like $3,800.
Yeah, about a little bit less than $4,000 of their own cash.
Now,
Yeah.
when they went to you for rental, Chris, how much were they thinking of paying for rent?
About
3?
First, yeah, right around 3. Yeah,
3,000.
but first, last, and security deposit is going to cost you about $10,000 for
it
most homes to get into today, and you still have to wait for the HOA approval, which takes 4 weeks roughly.
But wait, there's more,
Oh, my
right?
goodness,
So
is
not
there?
only did they only pay $3,800, I hear that there was some money left over,
Well,
or no?
that's how we're getting to that 38.
Oh, that's how
38
we
number.
get to 3,800. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3,800 got them into a home. Now, was this some kind of piece of crap? Excuse my language, a piece of crap home? But like, what kind of thing can they get for $3,800, Chris?
So they ended up getting a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 1,700 square foot townhome with a 1-car garage.
So
and,
don't.
and an HOA of only about $170 a month.
3 bathrooms?
3 bathrooms. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So it's 2 full bathrooms and then a half
Oh,
bath on the
okay.
main level.
Witty.
So, and the kicker on it, it had a brand new roof just installed literally about a month before.
So were they part of the Smart Start through?
They did.
Yeah, through the mortgage firm.
We still got money left.
Yeah. So it's not like, hey, you only need 4,000 to buy a house, right?
Yeah.
You still need. This was the classic case of probably part of their like, oh, we got to rent was, well, just how much cash do you need to buy? So
Sure.
people have some idea of how much cash they need, and then you can talk to a professional and figure out how much cash is going to be required. And then the question and the critical question is, okay, here's how much going to be required. Where is it all coming from? And so what we're doing these days for almost everybody, especially the first time home buyers with the lower down payment, we're looking at options of getting help. And so they took advantage of Smart Start, which unfortunately has now sunsetted. The funding
It's
is
over.
pretty much gone for Smart Start.
But
So,
how much did they get on that 10?
they got 10,000
10,000
for Smart
10,000 for
Start.
that.
They did a down payment assistance program out of Lee County, Florida, which
Mhm.
I'm not even quite sure where that is, but I feel like it's mid Florida, Lee County.
Mike, you're the
That
answer,
works
man. You
in
should
Palm
know.
Beach County.
And they have
Reciprocity.
reciprocity with Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
And so they did down payment assistance, HFA of Lee County, which is actually $17,500 right now in Palm Beach County.
Fort Myers.
Oh, Fort Myers area. Okay. And so, yeah, so that's why their cash requirement was only about $4,000 out of pocket.
Amazing.
And that's pretty amazing. So,
It is.
And we're doing that a lot. So now Smart Start's down, but still the down payment assistance programs are out there. Hometown Heroes is just about to come out.
Yes,
couple
that's
weeks,
true.
it'll be refunded. They're doing it again, 50 million with, specific professions, kind of like your hero professions. But that's going to be a good opportunity. I've already got people who are lined up for that program.
But you need professional guidance. And in this case, they got really fortunate that they were working with Chris, and he's got the connection with the mortgage firm, and there was still some funds available in the Smart Start program, right? And this home qualified for that program.
And the good part of the story is that their parents had been clients of Jim's, and I've talked to them at some point in the past.
Greg and Diane.
And I think they encouraged them, said, "Hey, just why don't you just talk to them? Just see where you stand."
Yeah.
And so it was a really good
I try to
story.
do that every Saturday.
Right?
I do that.
Hey guys,
every
we are here
Saturday.
for this. It doesn't cost you
Please.
anything. I think Chris said it was a month and a half, probably 2 months, right? When you first started.
It was all said,
that
the whole
conversation.
process. Yeah.
But
about
it was
2
pretty
months.
quick, but they went at it. Like they kind of got pre-approved, and Chris set them up, and they dove into the house hunt. You guys really did a pretty thorough.
I think we looked at about 14 different homes.
Yeah. Which is, that's what it takes.
Exactly.
And they had a couple offers that didn't go, and then they found this one. And it was, did you lose this one and then come back?
No, this one went really smooth from
Okay.
step one. And actually this house here, they're super thrilled too, because when you look, this house had been on the market for almost a year. Because they had a couple of deals fall through previous, or the seller had a couple of deals fall through because of the whole roof situation on this property. So we benefited by the fact that it had been on the market for quite some time. So when we finally closed, all of the other homes in the neighborhood that have recently sold at a substantial premium, $25,000-$30,000 more than what this
love
house
this.
sold
I
for.
love this
So they're
idea.
walking in with
Yeah.
basically instant equity on top of, finding a great home that fit their needs.
And it's a 3-bedroom. I think they were looking at 2 and
Initially,
3 bedrooms,
yeah,
right?
their minimum requirement was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a garage. And I'm the type of person, I'm like, you know what? No, we can do better than that. We can find you what you really want.
Exactly.
Jim knows this about me.
Yep, exactly. And Chris is really good at searching for properties. I've worked with a lot of agents over the years, and Chris's strongest skill to me right now, that's just innate. Like nobody taught him. He's just really good at finding good properties on the MLS, and it really helps out our customers a lot. And I really appreciate
It's
that.
also very handsome. If you're not
There
looking
you go.
online.
He's.
And we're
Should I
talking
say
about his
you're taking or
qualities,
no? So, but you have another shout out, Chris. What's
I do.
the other one?
Yeah. So this was, I have an ex-wife and a couple of kids that live out in California, and my ex-wife, her father passed away a couple of years ago, and he battled cancer, but she inherited the house from him, and so she's been floating that house for the last year and a half, 2 years, just really struggling a lot, and finally. Back in January of this year, I was like, you got to get this house sold, right? It's time to move on. And she was ready to. And so I spent some time out there in California, helped her, get it all ready for sale, and hooked her up with an agent out there in the Fresno area, California. And they took a little bit of work. Took several months, but the house went on the market, and it was under contract at the end of the first weekend. There was a neighbor that would just love the property and was ready to go. So that property actually closed yesterday as well. So she's able to move on to the next chapter of our life, which is fantastic.
And that's one thing that the Florida Home Pros with Keller Williams, which is our team, does very well. We help people all over the country buying or selling properties. I have deals right now. I have one in Virginia. I've got one in Tucson, Arizona. I have another one in Orlando. I know that isn't out of state, but it's far away.
Sure.
So we do deals all over the country. So if you have any real estate needs, or you have a relative that's struggling with something or needs help selling a property or buying something, we can actually help you, even though we're right here in Palm Beach County. And our team physically will do stuff all the way from Indian River down to Dade. Actually, Chris, you have one more shout out that I think we should talk about, but not in great detail, and that's Nicole. Because we just signed a buyer's agreement.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think.
You want me to do it?
Why don't you go ahead and do this one?
Chris has a good contact that is a commercial broker in another state, and they need some land for an industrial use here in Palm Beach County. And they called up Chris, and Chris found an excellent property for him. When I saw it, I was like, wow, I can't believe you found this. It's perfect for them. Unfortunately, we found out that that property has been under contract for several months, and the MLS is not controlling people, allowing people to keep the realtors to keep the property active, even though it's not active. It's active under contract. I'm really getting mad about this because I'm seeing this a lot.
It's the third time this has happened to me in the last month.
And it's happened to me 2 or 3 times this month too. And the MLS just isn't keeping tabs on stuff. And realtors don't put it active under contract because they're hoping that they can get other buyers, not just for that property, but hopefully to get buyers for themselves. It's totally unethical to do that.
Yep.
But anyway, they did that. So we have to pivot right now. But we really want to thank Nicole and her team in the other state for trusting us to go find this property for them. And we're really looking forward to it. So thank you.
Excellent.
Now, let's go ahead and take a break right now. And on the flip side, I think what we're going to do is I want to keep it light again just for a little bit. So we're going to talk about the python hunting because I think it's interesting. But after that, we're going to roll right into inflation report, jobs report, and mortgage rates and what's going on with that and what I think might happen or what we think collectively by just, I'm having a hard time. Yeah, the brain trust, which I don't have one. I just found out. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that and see what the future might portend for us as far as interest rates coming up.
We're heading to see the Wizard of Oz. He might be able to get you one if you want
saw
to go
that.
with us.
I saw the Wizard of Oz.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to try to get a braid,
I know.
we're going to go see him, and you can.
I'm going to have to walk
us.
down that yellow brick road for sure.
That's good. Jimothy, you're going with me, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm buying.
877-927-6969. That's toll free. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. If you want to be involved in the conversation at hand, we are live on this 27th day of June. It's 9:48 on your Real Radio wall clock. I kind of got stumbled there. I didn't know where I was going to go.
Your phone. That's like, what time is it?
You're looking on your phone?
Yeah.
I guess probably so. If you're not comfortable calling into a radio show, believe me, I totally understand. Remember, Florida Talk Real Estate is .com. We're on Facebook, on YouTube, live streaming on a Saturday. Consume away. Share and like. Because you can change lives when you put somebody on a team of pros like you'll find at floridatalkrealestate.com. If you are buying a home, selling a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, planning on getting involved in the world of real estate, deal with professionals. There's lots of people out there that are okay at what they do. You know people that are not so good at what they do. You still love them. Right? They're still friends and family. But if you have the opportunity to go to people that are great at what they do, you should do that whenever possible, especially if you're dealing with buying or selling a home. Go to floridatalkrealestate.com. At least vet the team. Understand what I'm talking about. The best of the best. Pros, experts in their field. You get them all at floridatalkrealestate.com. It's a 4-minute reset. We get back to it. Your phone calls and so much more. Plenty of time remaining on a Saturday. It's Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
Got something to say?
I got something to say.
Text us at 47142. Start your message with Real Radio. Standard data and message rates apply, and don't text while driving. Real Radio weather.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. Skies are partly cloudy as we go through our Saturday. Temperatures will be near 90 degrees through the afternoon. feeling close to 100 when you factor in the humidity. A few isolated downpours are possible inland throughout the day, but rain chances are a little lower. Skies are going to look a bit hazy as well. We've got that Saharan dust in place. We're going to see this pattern continuing again tomorrow.
This report is sponsored by RockAuto.com.
Ooh, Ben Tyrod, what are you going to do?
I'm way ahead of you. I'll be on rockauto.com before you can even finish this commercial.
He's right. RockAuto.com. Parts when you need them.
All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, go ahead, dial in. Got you live Saturday, the 27th of June. It's 9:54. Absolutely. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. You want to bring something to the table? Dial it. 877-927-6969. Our producer extraordinaire, Jimothy, he'll line you up. At least I believe. Can I speak for you?
Absolutely. Anytime you want, buddy.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you as always.
Good to see you as well, John.
It's freezing in here. How you doing over there?
Oh, it's nice and toasty over there.
Yeah, you suck so much. Johnny C, that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. There's Mike Rao. He's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing good. I feel the chill. I don't usually, it doesn't feel as cold for me as it does. Like I know you and Ross, like, man, it's ice. What do you think the temp in here is?
73.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's what
At
it
least.
feels like.
Yeah.
73,
Yeah.
I bet it's
72.
lower than that.
You
Yeah.
think?
And what do you keep your house at?
78.
Okay. How about you, Chris?
76, 75 in the house.
We're 76 in the house.
Yeah, I'm more like 74.
You're 74?
Yeah. But today when I came in the studio, because I'm never cold in here, I was cold when I first came in this morning, but
It's freezing.
I'm not as cold now.
It
But
is
I was
freezing.
really cold this morning.
Mike, you know you got cameras in front of you there. You I just want to make sure you understand you're being live streamed on Facebook and on YouTube. That's Florida Talk Real Estate on both those. You all right with that?
So I
tonight?
got. What do I?
Don't pick your nose
Everything good?
anymore.
Okay.
That's what Johnny's trying to tell you.
You can join us if you'd like. You can join at any time that live stream.
Hold on, let me close my search history.
Don't let people see that. Chris Peterson's with us. He's with the Florida Home Pros team. I refer to him as a pivotal cog of the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. How are you, Chris?
I'm wonderful, man. Can't complain.
Thanks for being with us. So it's not cold to you in here because you keep your house.
So this
Pretty
is
cold.
weird. Like I grew up in Minnesota. I know what cold is, right? And but I've been in Florida far too long because my tolerance for cold now is nothing. I much rather be on the warm side than the cold side. So it's yeah.
Preach.
It's one of the benefits of being here in Florida. You can always go visit the cold, but you don't have to deal with it too long.
That's true.
Here.
It's the truth.
Except for every Saturday morning, apparently.
Yes. Yeah. And I still don't bundle up. You think I'd learn eventually.
This is like your cold plunge, John.
Kind
Your
of,
weekly cold plunge.
Exactly. Yeah.
I remember when I first moved here to Florida, I never understood people walking down the streets in the middle of the summer with a hoodie on. You know, I'm not to that point yet, but I have a better appreciation for it. You know, I'm like, I get it.
All of my kids have that. They grew up. I guess it was a thing, and like, you know, it's 95 out. I'm like, oh, it's hot. We gotta go inside. You know, and then my son will come over and he's wearing a hoodie.
Hoodie.
I'm like, it's summertime. Right?
If it's a sweatshirt, no, not so much. But
The
covering
long
your
sleeve.
skin.
Oh yeah.
If it's breathable, and I know a lot of people are going to fight it, but if it's breathable, covering your skin, you'll stay way cooler in the sun.
Oh, I wear those shirts all the time.
Oh,
when
my
we're
goodness.
down at the
Huge
beach.
difference.
I live in that. Even in the peak summer, it's like I always have the long sleeve, like solar shirts on.
The difference is
they're amazing.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it truly is.
It doesn't seem logical, but it's got to be breathable.
Yep.
A sweatshirt, that's not.
Yeah,
what
they're
we're
not
talking
very
about.
breathable. We're talking like a straight hoodie, you know, and dark colors like black. You know?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, emo everywhere. Jimmy D's over here too. The Florida Home Pros team is led by the best of the best. That's our fearless leader as well. 14 plus years now. Keller Williams Innovations, where you find the Florida Home Pros team. Jim DePola, how you be?
Hey, man. I forgot during the last segment, so we're going to get into it now. I want to talk about some of our active listings right now, and I forgot one shout out for Matt and Heather. Matt and Heather are selling their house in Port St. Lucie. We just put it on the market, I think Thursday. Let's see. It says, I don't see how many days it's been on. No, I don't know how many days it's been on the market, but I think
It was Thursday.
3-bedroom, 2-bath home. It's got a huge backyard. This is on almost a half acre. It's fenced in the back. Great for like if kids want to play ball in the backyard or something. Plenty of room for a pool. Almost 1,800 square feet under air. It's in really, really good condition. Roof is 2023. I think AC is 2021 or 2022. Water heaters around that time too. House is in really, really good condition when you walk in.
Mhm.
It's a CBS home and it's got no HOA and it's got a really nice open floor plan. When you walk in to the house, 2-car garage. But when you walk into the house, it's got the vaulted ceilings and everything, so you just feel like it's bigger than it actually the square footage is.
I think you just checked a ton of boxes for a lot of people.
I know.
Seriously, though.
It is.
Wow.
It's true. So we have that house on the market. It's 6115 Knoll York Court. If you're interested in that, give me a call, and we'd love to talk to you, or you can check it out on our website, which we're going to talk about in a second. The other properties I want to talk to you about, I still haven't gotten 1245 Carlton Court under contract yet, Johnny. This community is so awesome. It's over by Hutchinson Island. It's got boating access, which is what I thought would sell it.
Not by Hutchinson Island. It's
on Hutchinson Island. You're
Yeah.
surrounded by water everywhere. You just feel like you're living. Like when you think of the Florida lifestyle, if you live in another state, this is an area that just makes you feel, this is Florida.
Totally.
And it's so inexpensive. This is a 2-2 unit. and it's only $195,000, and you have the ability to rent or buy dock space up to, I think, 30 foot over in this community. Johnny, I know when you were when your grandmother owned that place over there when you were a kid growing up, you used to drop a line in the docks all the time to go
All the
fishing.
time. Yeah.
Right. So this is an awesome opportunity for somebody who just wants a not expensive place to park your boat during the season and have a really good time, and then pack up and leave and not worry about your property anymore, while you're gone and it's vacant.
Sure. That's hard to find too.
Yeah. So if you're interested in something like that, please give me a call. And then the last property we have is kind of an unusual one. It's in Okeechobee, and it used to be a very popular restaurant, really popular restaurant motel with like only 8 units or 9-unit motel. But now it's been kind of abandoned for many, many years. And now the land might be more valuable than the buildings itself. And it's what makes this so interesting. It's right next door to the JNS Fish Camp, which is an historic fish camp in Okeechobee. And there's a boat ramp to get into the channel lock to get into Lake Okeechobee.
Wow. Timothy, this might be our spot to get our dream of running our own Porkies.
This could be it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Porkies would be, that would
Dude,
be.
we can make our own Porkies. We've been dreaming about it
Yeah,
for
the
years.
Porkies.
This might be our opening, bro.
Yeah. And you could, and then they also have 3 residential lots that are connected to this. So you could either collate the residential lots to the commercial land with the hotel motel, Holiday Inn, right? But with the hotel motel, or you could split off the residential lots are already split off, and you could just either spec build on them and then keep the hotel motel. You can collate the land again because it was all collated into one piece.
Dude,
and then do something with that.
I'm sold.
And turn it into something.
Let's
So
go.
if anybody has a developer bent and they want to do something like that, or revive the restaurant, something like that, give me a call. We'd love to talk to you about that. And you can see all of these things on floridatalkrealestate.com. And I'm going to let Chris talk about that a little bit because Chris has been behind the scenes. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Rebuilding our Florida Talk Real Estate site. Because Chris, you loved our old site, right?
Absolutely.
Come on, liar. His nose is getting bigger as he's talking. Tell me about the site a little bit now and some of the features, Chris.
Yeah. So we went ahead and we launched it about a month ago. So we've just been making sure everything's working correctly. But we got a brand new FloridaTalkRealEstate.com website.
Nice.
It's got, you go to the homepage there. It's got all the key resources, where to stream the radio show here every week. And it's got links to all of our sponsor partners like Mike and the mortgage firm and Ross at Brightway Insurance. Trident Title, of course, is on there. And then we also have a Florida Home Pros section of the website as well. And right there, we've got all of the buyer resources available, seller resources available, and within all of that, we've got your featured listings page as well. So all of our listings that we've got on, right now, there's a link to all of the details and photos and virtual tours and floor plans and basically everything you need to get a peek of all the properties that we have active on the market today.
See why I say pivotal cog?
Yeah, exactly.
The cog piece.
And there's a lot more exciting
That's
stuff coming.
Long time
too.
coming.
Yeah.
And there's a lot even more exciting stuff coming. This
Beautiful.
is just like building the base foundation, and then we're going to go from there. I guess I want to do one other thing, a shout out to the Florida Home Pros.
Nice. Good job, Chris.
I found out right before I went on vacation. We knew that last year, before I had Chris on, because I've been working as an individual agent before Chris came on board for the last year and a half or so, I was ranked in the top 100 of all the Keller Williams agents in Southeast Florida. There's 6,000 of us, and I was in the top 100. Well, last week I found out that out of the 300,000 agents in the state of Florida, Florida Home Pros ranks in the top 1,500 of the 300,000. So we're in the top 5%.
300,000
There's
active agents.
That's
in
what
Florida.
I found out. I didn't even know that until I found out that they reached out to me and let me know it's and it's an independent. It was done by an independent group that that kind of tracks all the agents in the country.
Yeah.
It's called Real Trends.
You could pay them money and you get a higher ranking.
Well, actually, you can pay money and get in their magazine. And they've asked me many, many years in the past to do that. And like, hey, we'd like to profile you in the magazine. And then it's pay to play.
It's pay to play.
So I've always passed on it.
Yeah.
But they never ranked me, right? Because I guess because I wasn't paying. But now I guess they do it. Even if you don't pay, they tell you who's in the
They
top.
just look at the production and lay out the numbers. Yeah.
And Keller Williams Innovations, my office, which is based in Boynton Beach, we had eight people in the top 1,500.
Nice.
So that's a pretty big chunk for
pretty nice.
Consider there's 300. Yeah, that's why I moved there to KW Innovations.
When you said it, I'm like, well, that's why you moved there. I mean, it's production coming out of there.
I was tired of being the big fish in a little pond, and I had nobody to like look up to or compete with. And when I say compete, I don't want to like quote beat them, but I just want to raise my game up to a higher level. And there were so many great agents in that office, and I want to go there and see how I'll do there. And so far, so good.
Yeah.
Right. So far, so good.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. And I also want to give a shout out to Brett Caldwell, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. Brett is the owner of our office, Keller Williams Innovations. He gave us a big help to meet with the person that's helping us do the industrial commercial property that we need. He got us with a really great agent, Karen Johnson, who specializes in this stuff. I call up Brett and I'm like, hey, I need a good commercial realtor. I didn't expect him to give me the commercial broker of the year for the state of Florida, but that's who we got.
He gave you a good one.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that person. So I'm really looking forward to work with Karen and Chris on that deal. So thank you so much.
That's on that Okeechobee.
No, this
Oh,
is
this is the
about
other
the
one.
industrial property. We can't really talk about it because there's non-disclosure agreements involved and everything. But
We already broke it.
yeah, no, we didn't break it
Yeah.
because we didn't say what we were buying or where we're buying. We're just saying we're buying a commercial industrial property somewhere in Palm Beach County.
Starting to put the pieces together.
Yeah.
I'm looking on the website. This is cool. So you got that property. You got a 3D. You can do a 3D walkthrough of it. It really looks like a cool spot.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got one in Okeechobee?
Yeah. You know what I love about that property the most?
You want in, Mike?
I think I might.
Yeah.
It's got thousands and thousands of board feet of Pecky cypress in that building right now, just laying there, ready for somebody to take and use for whatever. Pecky cypress is
you better dump
really
that, Jimmy.
expensive. Is really expensive material
Pecky cypress
today.
everywhere, Jimmy.
And yeah.
Is it hardwood?
Are you saying it's just lying there
There will
waiting
be.
for somebody to come by in a truck and just
No. It's in the building. It's locked up and secure. But when
You
I
got
look at
security
that as a
cameras
former
everywhere?
old woodworker, I look at that stuff and I just salivate. It's like, oh, what I could do with this stuff. And it's real. Like, you know how people don't know this, but 2x4s aren't really 2x4s. They're like, I think they're 1.5 by 3.5 is what the real dimensions are, but they call it 2x4. But this stuff, because it was milled so long ago, it's 1 inch and it's really 1 inch thick. And it's just
Adding
really
a half
good
inch
stuff.
has been my trick for years.
So
the puns.
So let's get into, before we get into the pythons, maybe we'll wrap up about that a little bit later. Let's go into the inflation, the jobs report.
We were gonna talk
You want to
about
do the
pythons.
well?
Yeah, you
What's
teased
everybody
pythons.
vote for?
Didn't you tease pythons?
I'll tell you what.
You gotta deliver
I'll
on
tell
the
you what.
tease.
Anybody
Little radio insight.
Anybody watching on Facebook or YouTube, you tell me what you want us to do. If you want me to do the
Well, how long is
pythons
the
first, you
pythons?
got
I
to
mean,
say right now.
It's like a 5-minute python chat, right?
Yeah, you want to just go through?
5-minute pythons.
Okay.
Into
Because I thought it was really interesting when I read it. So there was a podcaster that interviewed this couple. Oh no, I'm sorry, Outdoor Life interviewed Christina Cross, Kraus, and Aaron Mann, who work as contractors for the Florida's Python Elimination Program. So far, they've removed 87 invasive pythons from the Everglades. In July of last year, they did it in 1 month. Last July,
How many did you say?
they got 87 in 1 year, which is a new monthly record for anybody.
wait, is it year or month?
No, just for the year, that couple got 87. I'm sorry, just for July of 2025, they broke a record by catching and killing 87 invasive pythons in the Everglades. They also got 33 hatchlings, a nest with 33 33 hatchlings. And one of the pythons was a 14-foot, 92-pound Burmese python.
It's only
Right?
92 pounds at 14 feet.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought it would be more than that.
Yeah, I thought so too. It must have been a younger, right? That's what I was thinking. But they said, and this
Got
is
no
a,
Zempic.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah, exactly.
Everybody
Yes,
else,
yep.
it's Manjaro.
Semi-glutide is helping out the pythons right now. So,
Like everybody else.
here's what I thought was interesting. It talked a little bit about how they get paid. So now they didn't explain exactly what the difference is, but they can make somewhere between $13 an hour up to $30 an hour hunting for these pythons. And the other pay that's included, but you can't do more than 10 hours a day. So let's say that you're making $15 an hour, you can't bill them more than 10 hours per day.
Oh, so
right?
it's not like a bounty per snake.
No, they have bounty bonuses.
You get an hourly rate.
You get an hourly rate, and then you get on top of that, they receive $50 for snakes up to 4 feet long.
Okay.
Then you get $25 for each additional foot.
Oh.
So that python they caught that was 14 feet, they get $50 for catching it. And then there's 10 feet. So that's $250, right? So they make $300 for that python, right? Because it's 14 feet long. And if you find any confirmed active nest and you could document that you collected an active nest, you get $200 for that. And you get $1,000 monthly bonus for the top catcher. So whoever the top catcher is that month, they get $1,000 bonus. But you think, hey, that's a pretty good job. Christina and Aaron is like, don't just quit your day job. They said it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough work to do. First of all, they said it was not fun being in the middle of the Everglades, catching a 100-pound python and then carrying it back to their truck, through the swamps, worrying about alligators saying, great food, right? And worrying about alligators attacking you while you're trying to drag this dead python to your truck so they could bring it in, or a water moccasins and all kinds. We talked about the poisonous snakes a few weeks ago. And they said it's definitely unrealistic to expect that, to say, hey, honey, we're moving to Florida. We're going to become python catchers. They were like saying, don't do it. It's not worth the money to do it that
takes
way.
A special breed, I'm sure.
They say they have more of a passion of just trying to keep the Everglades pristine, if you will. I don't know the other word for it.
You might, one like a baseline test would be like, how many snakes have you caught in your life? Right. And if you got a number there, then maybe it's for you. And if it's like, well, I've never even touched a snake.
I've caught a lot.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
you've
like
never
snakes.
touched the snake. Yeah.
You've never touched a snake?
No, I'm saying if you have never touched a snake, it might not be for you.
Yeah, if you were the kid that used to just grab a snake and and you still are. You're that guy that just snatches them. It might be for you. You're that gal that just grabs them. You gonna grab a snake? Just grab a snake?
I mean, I did when I was a kid. I have.
Yeah. Would you? Will you?
I have. Actually, I would be more scared of being out there with the gators and the water moccasins, not the pythons.
To me, it's the mosquitoes.
The mosquitoes and the sawgrass. Oh my gosh. When I used to watch people that got lost in the Everglades for whatever reason, and then I'd interview them afterwards, like when they got pulled out of the Everglades, most of their injuries were related to the sawgrass. They call it sawgrass for a reason, man. It F's you up, right? When you're trying to get through there, and anything you touch, it just slice. It's just, But anyway, there was another couple, Taylor Stanberry and her husband. They said that they put 100,000 miles on their Subaru over the last 2 years while hunting pythons. And they also said you could go out there for days and days and days and find nothing.
I bet.
Right. So you're just out there being mosquito
and you don't find
food,
the snake.
And you don't find the snake, you get nothing and you're out there. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that they got paid per hour on top of bonuses for catching the snakes.
Who is contracting them? Who is it?
Good. It's the South Florida Water Management District and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
And I would imagine there's like some app. They probably like clock in on it and it like tracks them in a way. Because otherwise they're
tracks
how
could and everything.
I know. I agree because I was wondering about that. But imagine catching 87 of these in 1 month.
Yeah, but if they got 30 something in a nest, a good way to pad the stats.
No, the nest is a separate thing. So
Oh.
it's 87 pythons, and then that nest counts as like one separate thing, right?
Okay.
And you have to show it's an active nest. Like you have to show that it was going to hatch all these snakes and all that.
Eggs.
Yeah. Well, hatch snakes. Yeah, they're going to hatch
I'm
snakes.
saying they would have eggs in that.
Oh,
the
yeah.
nest would have eggs in it.
Yeah, it would have eggs, and they have to show it's, that they were actually growing and incubating and not just like be a dead nest.
Dead nest.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Only in Florida, right?
Well, anyway,
Only in
if you're looking
Florida.
for work, it seems like there's money there. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go get it.
$30 an hour. Who wouldn't take that?
I don't want to hear I can't find work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That couple says, the couple that Aaron and Christina, they say that the job costs them about $180, 180 hours a month. So they're putting in way more than 40-hour work weeks, right? They're putting in like 45-hour work weeks in the Everglades every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought that was kind of
they're earning
interesting.
that. They're definitely earning that.
I'm having a flat or thinking of all I can think about now is that the TV show that Naked and Afraid. Why haven't they filmed in the Everglades? Right? There's a reason.
That's right.
Because you probably don't want to be there.
Have they not? I figured they did.
I guess I don't know for sure if they've not. I've seen that show a fair amount, and I've never seen. They're usually in like the remote jungles in like South America, Africa, different places.
Some
But
similar issues though, right? With like swampy. The bugs
I
is
would
always
think
the thing.
almost identical issues, just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I remember when the boys were younger, they used to like want to go on Naked and Afraid. They thought they could do it. And I live in the acreage, right? So I have one part of my lawn that we call it the Grove. It's full of the saw palmettos, right? Where the kind of those low ones that branch out, and it's like a good size area. It's like you don't need to do the TV show. You can go right here.
Yeah.
We're gonna set you both out there. And we'll see who makes it through one night. Like no clothes, nothing. You got to be out there, like maybe underwear or something.
Put your little loincloth.
And they didn't want to do it.
No,
So I'm like, okay.
amazing. Who would have thought that they wouldn't want to do that?
Just
and thank God they're all over 18, or you'd be charged for child cruelty. I think those are called
fun.
cabbage palms, Mike, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the ones that
The low on the ground and they branch out.
and they have berries on them. I think it's
That's
a saw
right.
palmetto, and people would come by and they want your berries for medicine.
Oh yeah,
there was a time when that was some sort of alternative.
popular nutritional
It
supplement.
is, and cabbage palms. The kernel at I'm calling it a kernel, but in the middle of the plant, you can pull that out, and a lot of old Florida crackers used to use that for cooking. They used to cook the cabbage palm little thing in the
It's like
middle.
the heart of it.
Yeah, the heart, cabbage palm heart. Thank you, Chris. Let's get into a little bit about what's going on with the economy. It's been several weeks since we've even talked about interest rates. Even when we were on the show, we weren't talking about interest rates that much, other than what we were trying to keep an eye on. And I wanted to go over a couple things.
Just
real
real
I'm
quick,
so sorry.
Timothy, is this? Should we take?
Oh, do we have a call?
Actually, maybe before we get into a separate subject,
Sure.
Jay is on the line. He wanted to talk about homesteading. Jay, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
Let's get into a little bit about. Hello. I have a question about the homesteading rebate.
Yes, go ahead, Jay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wanted to get your views. And do you think it's good what they passed? Or it doesn't sound so great to me what they passed, but I'd like to get your views over the show.
Okay, I actually have a segment on that that I wasn't sure if we were going to get to today, so let's just roll into that really quick. So about a week and a half before we went on vacation, the legislature did pass the rule. Johnny was right, I was wrong about that. They did pass the legislation to have it to go up to a vote to the residents, and we got to pass it by 60%. Now, based on that, the governor has done something on the back end on top of it. And what he's done is he's also passed another law, and this is a law now. This doesn't have to go up to vote. Kind of capping the way that city commissions and county commissions can raise the millage rates without more scrutiny. They want more scrutiny before they do that. So what they're doing is if you're going to raise the millage rates more than 110% of the rollback rate, and the rollback rate means whatever money you made in 2025, let's say, and now you're in 2026 and trying to set your budget, the rollback rate is to make sure that you have the same amount of income, at minimum, the same amount of income as the money you collected in 2025. That's called the rolled back rate. And what they're saying now is, if you increase it above the rolled back rate, either you have to have a unanimous vote from the body that's raising the rate, or you have to have 3/4 of a vote for larger governing boards, and I don't know what that means, or approval by voters for a referendum. So you know how when we raised the sales tax many years ago, we've done that a couple of times, state sales tax, we had to put that out to a referendum, and 60% of the people had to vote for it. So he's trying to make sure that the city commissions and county commissions don't just take the extra money from assessed values because the market value is raised and then just keep the millage rate the same and make more money.
Right.
And then spend it. Now, there's a lot of people that are fighting this right now, and there's a new group out right now. They just formed. What is it called? I'm sorry. Hold on here. Let's see. I can't find the
set
name.
Up a little bit what Jay's asking, because Johnny, I mean, we talked about it in the 2 weeks leading up to when we've just been off for 2 weeks, and it's about this property taxes and kind of like no property tax for homesteaded property.
So what they want to do is they want, if this is passed in November, then next year everybody's going to get a $150,000 homestead exemption. That if you're a homesteaded property, you'll get a $150,000 exemption, and then the next year it'll be $250,000, and at $250,000, that's like almost 92% of all the homeowners will have to pay little or no ad valorem property taxes, right? And then the plan is, if that's approved, that they're going to figure out somewhere afterwards, and this is a little gray area, that they want to get it up to $500,000 exemption. And if they do that, the great majority of people, maybe that's when it becomes 92% at 500,000, wouldn't have to pay basically any ad valorem taxes at all. The problem is, where are we going to get the other $13 billion $113 billion in the state if you cut all those taxes out? And that's the big issue. So there's a bunch of groups that are coming out, which isn't a surprise, that are against this. And the National Association of Realtors is against it. And a couple other groups are against this right now. Let me see. Okay. So one of the biggest complaints right now is coming from St. Johns County, and St. Johns has created, has helped form a group. I'm trying to find the name of it.
And one thing we were talking about is,
so St. John's put out a thing, and they say, we're not against it, we're not for it, but we want to let the taxpayers know what's going to happen if this passes. So for their county, they right now have a county budget of $400 million. If this law went into effect, they would have to subtract $113 million of their $400 million budget would be gone, and they would only have 287. And it takes, just for the sheriff's office and the fire department for that county, that's $250 million of their budget,
which won't be going down.
Which would not be going down, but that means they only have $37 million left to deal with that $113 million loss that they don't have.
And the schools also wouldn't be going down.
Supposedly, but I don't know, I'm not sure I agree with any of this, because I covered when the Florida Lotto came out, and the Florida Lotto was supposed to be a lockbox just for schools. And that was a complete bunch of BS when it came out. It was total a bunch of BS. So I don't even like talking about it, because I know they're going to spend the money any way they want.
And it sounds like, so one of the things that people were thinking is like, okay, well, I guess they're not going to go on without that revenue. They're going to make up that revenue somewhere else. And so one of the things was they could just raise their millage rates, right? Like just increase the tax percentage so that they make up for that lost funds. And it sounds like DeSantis is trying to get out in front of that, which is fine. But what else does he have to get out in front of? And how many things does he have to get out in front of as people start figuring out, okay, well, we're going to lose revenue here. Where do we make up the revenue?
So just
they'll find a way.
Just in St. Johns County, that $37 million that we have left over for after police and fire, if this law went into effect, What they would need that money for immediately is to run all their parks and nearly 1,100 miles of road that's responsible for the county that the state and the federal government are not responsible for. So what's that going to mean? Our roads are going to look like New York. If there's anybody driven to New York on the highways up there, it's just like patch pavements everywhere. It's just a big mess of patch pavements. I hate driving up there because it's just such a non-smooth ride.
Chris mentioned earlier projecting property taxes for first-time home buyers and like where's it going to be, and we have that conversation a lot with people. And because I talk about that so much, it's given me an opportunity to talk to people about this topic, right? Because I'm like, well, here's what I would normally do to project your property taxes, but I don't really know what's going to happen. And you get into like, hey, the voter's going to have to come out in November. And one of the things that I've always said is there's probably a lot of stuff that goes unnoticed in your neighborhood or in your area
that you just think works.
You take
you
for
just
granted,
think it works,
right?
Yeah.
The roads, how beautiful, like Royal Palm's a great one. It's Johnny lives in Royal Palm, one of the beautiful areas. They definitely keep up on the landscape and the irrigation and the tree trimming and the decorations for the 4th and like all of these things.
They do.
And those are the types of budget items that are going to have to get knocked down. And so that's one of the things. And I think, in my view, the premise that you're not going to have property taxes is misguided. And I've looked at these numbers. I looked at it for my house. I think I looked at it for Johnny's house. You still have to pay the like police, fire, schools. Those things are basically should be funded at certain levels, existing levels. So your bill's not going away, but it's probably going to be cut in half.
Yeah, about.
And so, if you got a $5,000 a year property tax bill, you can project it's going to be $2,500 a year. And so you really, as a Florida homeowner, you want that $2,500 so much that you're willing to kind of give up on some of these other things that you see.
Because it's unknown, because they don't know what they're giving up until they give it up.
It's very easy.
Right?
Like,
that's
hey,
when they're
no,
going to
no
find
property
out.
taxes.
Right.
And as a homeowner, it's like, go for it. Yeah, sounds good. But what are you giving up? And that's the discussion.
Not only just what are you giving up, but also what are you going to be paying more for, right? Maybe what they're going to do is they're going to tax us for our car registration and vehicle registration for more. They're going to go after the commercial properties more, right? Commercial real estate. Secondary homes.
More of these. You're going to start getting tickets in the mail. Like it's just that's
what's happen. Can you imagine what's going to happen with those cameras? And then they're going to connect it to AI, and it's going to go crazy.
Yeah, that's what they're going to supplement.
Yep, they're going to
and then the process to fight these tickets is going to be a nightmare. You're just going to pay it.
You're saying they're going to make up revenue by speed traps and
for sure. There's cities that do that. They've been doing that forever. There's an area near Ocala.
That's enough for me. I'm a no.
They fought the legality of those cameras and won.
And
they're still just going to freaking do it.
So there could be more legal battles over it too.
And then here's another thing.
Who's paying for that?
Sure, police and fire are being paid at today's cost. If you're looking for a raise later, have fun with that, Mr. Police Officer, Mrs. Police Officer, Mr. and Mrs. Firefighter.
Do we still got Jay on the phone?
I don't know.
Jay, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. What about the assessment? How is this going to affect the assessment on property taxes?
It shouldn't. All right, Jay. So there's I talk about property taxes a lot. There's 3 numbers that are in play. There's the market value of your home, there's the assessed value of your home, and then there's the taxable value of your home. And your millage rates are applied as a percentage on the taxable value. So the market value of your home should be assessed every single year. And that number is not going to, that's basically independent of your homestead or not. Like everybody's home is assessed for market value every single year. Your assessed value, which if you've had a homestead exemption in place, has been capped. It doesn't go up and down with the market value. It can go up, but it caps out at 3% per year on homesteaded properties. So that assessed value is where this homestead exemption is important, because right now the homestead exemption gives you a $50,000 reduction from your assessed value. So your taxes are applied on a number that's $50,000 less than your assessed value. And they're talking about increasing that to 150, 250. And so like Johnny's probably a good example. You bought your home several years back. I bet your assessed value, because it's been capped since you bought your home, is less than $250,000. So you're essentially going to be 100% exempt from whatever portion of taxes are eligible to be exempt
within a couple of years,
which wouldn't include school, fire, police, right? So you're still paying taxes on those things with the assessed value of your home, but about half your bill is going to be, you're going to be exempt as a Florida homeowner so your assessed value. The whole goal, Jay, is for the homestead exemption to meet or exceed the assessed value of your home.
And their plan is for that, if they get this amendment passed, for the lawmakers to morph it so that it eventually catches everybody that's been homesteaded.
That's homesteaded.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're buying a home today, you're in a different world than me in my home when we bought in 2014.
Yeah.
Right. Different world.
And
as far as the assessed value.
And one thing I think maybe St. John's is an example where a lot of their property taxes are for homesteaded properties. Like maybe they might not have a big percentage of non-homesteaded properties, right? There's not a lot of investor properties or business owned or whatever. So a lot of their homeowners are homesteaders. And so their tax base is going to go away a lot.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do? And so everybody's going to deal with that at some level. We might be a little bit more insulated in Palm Beach County because we have a good percentage of non-homesteaded properties. So maybe it's not
lots of
quite
commercial,
so impactful, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It is for you to decide if it's good or bad. What we're trying to do here is just let you know what's happening, and to let you know, and you make the informed decision, not us. You know what I mean?
I mean, they installed, speed humps in my neighborhood, and they drive me crazy.
Slow down. You have speed humps in your neighborhood?
They put them in, and on one road they took them out because the fire department was like, "This is good. This is like
driving
ruining our trucks." But they left them on my road, and the problem is, so the idea is like, "Hey, people speed through here; it's dangerous."
Yeah.
The problem is you install these speed humps that are pretty jarring. They say to take it at 25 miles an hour, but that's pretty jarring on your vehicle. And people avoid them. So they steer across double lines, to get into the middle or the left and right. People will slow down and treat them like a stop sign, which changes the pattern on a 40 mile an hour road.
Big time.
I mean, so it's like, what's more dangerous? So I don't want that type of invasiveness in my life, and I definitely don't want speed trap cameras.
I seem to notice it more often in the neighborhoods where you see they have a lot of slow kids, or they put up the signs that they have slow kids there that are out playing and stuff. I'm like, oh, all right, makes sense. They put these speed humps out.
How do you tell the difference between kids and slow
I know,
kids?
that's what I was thinking.
Like Johnny sees a sign with kids.
Is he using a euphemism? I was
a bunch of slow kids.
I was
you don't
wondering
see
if you
motion lines.
Yeah.
You've seen the signs, right, Jim?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm one of them.
I go through them. I'm like, man, they got a bunch of slow kids in this neighborhood.
Well, Jay, I want to ask
Slow
Johnny
kids that
something
play.
because he was right last time. So do you think it's going to get the 60% needed to pass, or you're not sure? What do you think?
I think it shoots past it.
I think it's going to shoot past it too. I think people are very short-sighted and say, and then we're going to deal with whatever happens
That's it.
afterwards.
We'll
So we're
deal
just going to
with it.
figure it out. That's what I think is going to happen.
I
really think that.
The
You know
part
what?
that'll be interesting. I mean, I think I was doing some searching here, and it's about 50 to 55% of property sales in Florida are for intended for primary residences. So that's like half sales volume. So the real question mark is going to be, are the people that are renters, are they really going to fight this or not and vote no? Because there's a risk here from my perspective that okay, if it's a non-homesteaded property, then the risk of your property tax rates going up is higher. I feel in the near term, which could adversely impact rental properties and drive up those prices, right? So there's a potential negative side to this that I don't think anybody's really thinking about or talking about right now.
I think if I was a non-homeowner, my default would be like, they're losing a lot of revenue. They're going to make it up somewhere else. They're going to get it from me somehow. They're going
I
to get
agree.
it from me.
I
So right
agree.
now, Jim pays it. He owns a home. He pays it. I rent. I don't pay it, but they're going to get it from me somehow. They're
Right.
robbing Peter to pay Paul. And I could see that mentality. As to like different rates for non-homesteaded properties, I don't know that they can like adjust millage rates based on ownership. Maybe they could put a premium like a
Mhm.
like an additional rate for non-homesteaded properties, which would not be good for
The
you know,
bill I
renters.
also think has a cap for commercial and non
It's 10%.
It's 10%.
properties.
It's 10%. Yeah.
So even if when you buy a home, if it's not homesteaded, the market value will go up and
Mhm.
down with the market. The assessed value, instead of having a 3% cap, has a 10% cap.
Yeah.
So your assessed value can only increase 10% year over year.
which is
But that's a
significant.
that's a
Right, as
3x
business
increase.
person,
I
yes,
mean,
it is.
yeah,
10% year over year can
Yeah.
pace
inflation quickly.
yeah, or your home value, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what's the number I'm looking for? Appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the appreciation can, because we usually don't get 10% appreciation guaranteed every
No.
single year.
3, 4, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I think
So-
it's a max of 10%. So
Well,
if your
that was
home
the-
Yeah.
appreciated 6%, then it would
Yeah,
be
it'll
6%.
only
Yeah.
go up.
Jay-
I thought that was being reduced to 5%.
Oh, you're right,
That-
Jimmy.
it-
Thank
it
you.
is,
I
yeah.
thought
It's
that was in the
10%
bill.
today. You're
Yeah,
right.
It was
That's
going to go down to
correct.
5.
Yeah.
But that just means there are even less ways to get the money needed to service everything.
And now DeSantis is putting cap on millage rate increases.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to lock it down and say, hey, you're not getting this from property taxes anymore. So either cut back on your budget, tighten up, which is hard, or do less.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's just going to be more laissez-faire, is what I feel. Now,
Je ne sais quoi.
Jay, we appreciate the call
Yeah.
and getting the conversation going. Hopefully that answered any questions you have, my friend.
Thank you.
All right,
Okay,
buddy.
thank you.
Appreciate you very much.
so
877-927-6969. Plenty of time remaining on a Saturday. If you want to join the program, of course, if you're not comfortable on the radio, always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Your one-stop real estate shop. Access to the entire team. Pros. You get them all at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
just to give you an idea, I just want to say one more thing about that whole thing. In St. John's, just to give you an example, St. John's is trying, the sheriff's office over there is asking for an $8 million increase compared to last year. So if this law went into effect, forget about that, right? That stuff isn't going to happen. So it might affect your public safety and your personal public safety, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen on that. We'll keep you posted on it. Now, I wanted to get into where we are in the economy right now and what might happen in the future. We have the new reserve guy. Is it Warsh?
Warsh. Yeah.
Warsh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No relation.
Right. Exactly. Right. We have the new guy.
Roush.
He was actually put into that place specifically by the president to reduce the Fed reserve rates. That was his mandate, to be appointed to that position. But the economy doesn't seem to be working well to make that happen. And in his first
Cooperating,
word,
yeah.
yes, I'm sorry.
First meeting.
Yeah, the first meeting, he didn't change the rate at all. He held it tight.
He does. It's
Well,
so
I
he
know
is
it's a board.
vote.
It's a board,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah. So when I say that, I mean the board, and when I say he, it isn't his only decision. There's, I think, 13 people involved in that decision. There's
Yeah, it's
18
a-
board members, but I think there's 13 voting members.
Yeah. Board of Governors.
And they almost unanimously, there was only one person that didn't agree with keeping the interest rates for the Fed Reserve flat, stable.
Hold.
Yeah, hold it where it was. Now, there were a couple reports right before we went on vacation. Before I went on vacation, the jobs report came out pretty strong. We know they adjust that a lot months later. But right now we have to use on the stats that we have. There was 172,000 jobs created in May. That was very, very strong.
Way more than anticipated.
Way more
Yep.
than anticipated. So that made me think, well, maybe they will drop the reserve rate, the Fed reserve rate, because the Fed Reserve has a role of worrying about inflation and job creation. And that's the two things. And all they could do is they can either raise the rate or lower the rate. That's the only tools they have. But when you have weak job creation, a lot of times they would like to reduce the rate to kind of warm up the economy to make the business owners hire more people. But when you have high inflation, they usually like to raise the rate to cool down the economy because inflation is an overheating of the economy usually. So we have a good jobs report, but then the May report just came out a couple of days ago for what's called the PCE, which is, what does the PCE stand for again? I'm sorry. Or is it the PPE? It's the no, PCE.
Peaceful piece of PC.
Personal consumption expenditure, right? Expenditures. So this doesn't include energy or food. And we were up 3.4%.
So that's core inflation, they call it.
Core inflation, yes. And it was up 3.4% annually, and it rose 0.3% from April to May.
It wasn't, it's at 3.4%.
Well, it
It's
says
not up 3.4%, right?
Yeah, 3.4%, but that means it's 3.4% higher than last year at this time. It's year over year. So the 3.4% is compared to May of 2025.
So you're saying if it was at 3 last year, now it's at 6.4?
No, it's 3.4. So let's say last year in May it went up it was 3%. That
Okay.
means it was 3% higher than the year before. And then so then that becomes the zero for this year.
I see.
And then this year we're 3.4% higher than last May.
A slight increase. Got it.
Well, 3.4% is high. And if you add food and energy in there, we're at 4.1. Right? Now we were in the twos, the high twos, mid to high twos, right before the transition of the administration change, right? And they were holding there for a long time, but now it's scooting up. And obviously part of it's gas. But this is taking out gas and food, and we're still high, right?
So it's everything else.
Right. So if we have really high inflation, this is the point I want to try to make. If we have really high inflation,
Anybody who buys anything ever is nodding their head going, yeah.
But if our jobs creation is truly strong, that to me tells me that they're going to be raising the Fed rate. They're going to be raising the Fed rate. And, I'm thinking that unless things change, that they're talking about raising the Fed rate. And at the beginning of this year, they thought we were going to have 3 rate cuts by the end of the year, but they weren't going to start until July. Then when we got to March, they were like, maybe we'll only have 1 cut and it'll be in September. And now with everything that's happened, now they're thinking that we're going to have an increased rate in October. That's the bets from the economists, that we'll see a Fed Reserve rate increase in October. And now the most recent prognostications are we're going to have 3 hikes, but the first one will come towards the end of this year, the last quarter of the year. And then that next year, we're going to have 2 more hikes.
3 hikes?
3 hikes is what they're saying right now. Now, if we have a weak job report, if the job report starts getting weaker, I don't think that will happen, because then they have to decide, well, if we raise the rates, it's going to make the jobs even more unstable. And so there's a potential that we're not going to see decreases, we're going to see increases. That's what really could happen here right now. That's where we are. We're right on the edge of deciding which way it's going to go.
Well, then that'll push us into stagflation, like defined.
I agree.
Stagflation.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that if we see an increase, at least if you were worried that Trump installing kind of like a hand-picked Fed chair would separate the level of independence, right? The Fed is supposed to be independent. The chair is supposed to be independent. So if you see a rate, at least that's a sign that, okay,
increase.
So it's kind of doing what you would hope, which is watching the economy and using their big lever to kind of control inflation, right? Which is what they do, right? They got
unless we end up in a world where we end up with these like too big to fail type scenarios again, and you end up with all these big bailout handouts because the scenario plays out. I mean, there is a doomsday where everybody, the rich get richer on the taxpayer dollar at the end of it, and that's the path we're aiming on. And I'm not being a doomsdayer.
Yeah.
I'm just highlighting that that path ends with the rich getting more of our money because they're too big to fail.
Yeah.
I just hope that if we ever get into that, God forbid, what we started this show with, right? When this show started and we were in the midst of that real estate crisis, the big mistake the federal government made that time was they bailed out the banks. They shouldn't have. They should have bailed out the homeowners.
Oh, agree. 100%.
That's what they should have done, because that would have made our economy stronger.
Just make it so they could. People were making their payments. Make it so they could afford their payment. They would have stayed in their homes.
Remember,
which we saw during COVID.
we had a mortgage broker on. Our first mortgage broker on the show was Ira Goldberg. Do you remember him?
I do remember
Ira?
the name. Yeah.
So I think he's retired now. I'm not sure.
Hey, good for him.
But yeah, God bless him. But Ira used to work for Countrywide, which was one of the biggest scam companies.
Yes, it was.
Created
That's a
for
curse word.
mortgages, right? That Mozilla guy, he passed, right? And Mozilla, he didn't even get charged with anything, and he was a big problem of creating this mess.
That's
but
amazing.
what Ira actually worked as like the regional manager for the southeastern United States for Countrywide. He had a used position. So he said on our show that he wrote a white paper when he worked at Countrywide to say, look, this is how we're going to fix this problem. Anybody that purchased a home from this date, whatever the date was, forward, right? We are going to go back and reappraise their homes automatically, not charge the homeowner. Whatever the current appraisal rate is, we're going to reconfigure their loans to that current appraised value to make everything more affordable so these people could afford their homes so they're not upside down. And then that way we're going to get people that actually pay us every month instead of us paying all this money to threaten people that we're going to foreclose on you if you don't pay, right? And he goes, if we did that, he wrote this big white paper, and he goes, if we do that, we'll solve this problem. It'll create the least amount of damage possible. And Countrywide said, are you friggin' crazy? So Ira quit. Right? He's like, well, I'm out of here. And he formed his own mortgage company.
That was
he goes,
his
I'm out.
Jerry Maguire moment.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, if they had done it that way, we wouldn't have had the major crisis we had. We still would have had a bad time. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
And some of those banks might have failed. They might have failed, but they deserve to fail because they're writing dirty mortgages all the time.
That's right. Yeah,
right.
The cream
But
will rise.
it wasn't the people. And the people were involved too, because when you go in and say you want to buy $1 million home and you're doing a no doc loan and you make $40,000 a year, you're in trouble too. But somebody gave you that loan.
We wiped away personal responsibility
Yeah.
many decades ago, Jim. That's not a burden anybody carries these days.
So
It's
if
not my
we
problem.
get in trouble this time, hopefully people will have common sense and say, we got to help out the American consumer. And that's the other thing I want to mention about this inflation stuff. The one thing that's happened that was very, not even surprising, consumer expenditure is still strong as you cannot believe.
It's not. You should never be surprised by that.
Yeah.
Why are you surprised? You know what? We're the best at a couple of things, Jim. We have the best military. We have a lot of pride in this country.
Barbecue.
And we will spend like an NBA rapper with money we don't have, and it will never end. We are amazing at consuming.
No,
and you should never be surprised.
Well, when you said it will never end,
be surprised.
Yeah,
by
but it will never end until it does.
it won't.
Well,
We'll
it
find a
does.
way.
Well,
We'll
when we
consider-
had the recession,
The World Cup, people are coming here right now. They're like, this is the greatest country in the world. Like the World
yeah,
Cup.
you heard that one guy. He said,
Well,
I'm
it's
so
not
happy
one
to
guy.
be here.
It's not one guy. Everybody that's come to our nation, the World Cup's the FIFA's done a great job. This has been a hosting phenomenon. But people are like, your country is amazing. You people are amazing. So like,
I also love that we got Canada and Mexico involved in it too, and they have been. They've looked like fun and beautiful.
It's
and
not
like
just
people
USA.
having a
It's
good
a North America.
Yeah, North
right?
America. It's really been spectacular. I've actually been. I have been. My heart has felt good watching how it's gone down and how professional it is, and,
and when you get
good.
when you get that adoration thrown on us like that, they'll prop us up if they need to.
Apparently, there's a thing. I heard on the way in. There's a thing like people are just discovering ranch dressing.
Yeah,
an American thing.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
And are you a ranch guy?
Love
John?
ranch. Have since I was a kid though.
Okay.
I put it on pizza at like 10 years old.
You know what that
Okay.
reminds
Cali
me?
guy, though.
Ranch on pizza.
I'll tell you what's
yeah.
good. Fries with ranch is
Amazing.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? When I went down to Bogota many years ago.
Yeah.
I guess they have it here in the United States, but they didn't when I went down there, where they would mix ketchup with mayonnaise.
Yummy.
Yeah,
Right?
salsa rosa.
Yeah,
The
and
Dutch use
I
mayonnaise on
love
there.
that when I went down there. To
You
me,
never
that
had
was
a Big Mac, Jim?
they don't
Or
have
Thousand
ketchup and
Island
mayonnaise in
dressing?
it. Yeah, but that's different than ketchup and mayonnaise.
It's
It's the
similar.
core- the basis
Anyway,
ingredients.
I just
Yeah.
was like,
Clubby,
wow, this
Clubby
is.
is down in Miami playing tonight.
Yep.
World Cup.
It's gonna be crazy.
Mention
Well,
Bogota.
I want to.
It's
So
going to be crazy.
what we have.
Don't go to Miami today, guys. Just thinking about it. Or if you're not already there.
Don't go to Miami, is what I
Oh.
say. It's a landmass to the Keys, guys. It's a
I mean, it's
landmass
going to be
to
a
the
great
Keys.
time if you're there.
I love the
Amazing.
food. I love the culture. I hate the traffic. Not going down there anytime I could avoid it. I avoid it
There you
because
go.
I just love the food and I love the traffic. But
Although,
it's not. I mean,
Listen,
I love the culture, love the
You
food,
can
but
get
don't like the traffic.
Bright Line down there, Tri-Rail down there.
There you go.
That's a good way to get
Oh,
down there.
that drives me crazy.
Mhm.
Okay, so the jobs report is good. Inflation not so good. So the one kind of thing that's
Spend
a
it
little
like
bit of
mother,
a
check.
bright spot has been interest rates. Really, I just looked at the 30-year mortgage rate on Freddie Mac, Mike. It's pretty straight line since last year.
Last 6 weeks. Oh,
Yeah, even last year, I went all the way back to July of last year. We were only at 6.5 in September of last year, I should say. September last year, we're only at 6.5%. Today, we're at 6.49%. So we haven't seen the interest rates go up dramatically. Now, it did go up about a half a point from our low of the year of 5.98. We're in the fives, right?
yes.
But we're up about a half point then. But if you look over the last 2 years now, we're pretty much in a bracket of
That's in a
between
pretty
6
tight
and
window.
6 and
Yeah.
a half.
I think the jarring thing was when we did break that 6 down to 5.98 and things were, that's people were optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
And this what happened here with Kevin Warsh, right? With the Fed, people were looking at that as saying, hey, we're moving in the right direction and might even get it might get better.
Get better.
Right. And then of course
Then,
Iran.
Right. Then Iran
And
happened in
the
February.
direct
Yeah.
result of that was we're back up a half a point, which is fine. We have hovered at 6.5.
We've been
basically for
very
the past
lucky.
6 weeks.
We've
right?
been
6,
very
7
lucky.
weeks.
People don't remember in 2018, people were paying eights.
Yeah,
in the
getting up
eights.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy in the sevens.
Yep.
And it's when you talk about these rates and like affordability and a solution to that, I don't think it's a direct, like I would love interest rates to come down. It's going to be feel better for buyers. But I would expect housing prices to kind of go up a little bit when that happens. So it's not really an affordability. Same thing with the property tax.
agree
It's not
with you.
solving that. But there's one segment where I think could really benefit from lowering rates. And that's people who have bought in the past, 3-4 years and will be refinance capable. The interest rate question on what should I refinance or not, that might be answered. And for those people, there could be a distinct affordability question, a solution for them. Right. Property taxes, that's a solution for existing homeowners. Interest rates coming down and people can refinance out of I don't know if it's a higher rate, but higher than what it could be. That's a good question. But what's the segment of people? Like how many people are we talking about who have bought homes and have loans that are where their interest rates in the 6 or 7? It's like anybody in the last,
basically the last 2 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Timothy's ways in his hand.
No, I'm in that camp.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And-
there's a lot of people who could benefit that way. I don't think it's an affordability solution across the board.
I agree.
Just because prices.
That's the other thing. I agree with you, Mike. If they drop the interest rates, if they do this property tax thing, all I think it's going to do is fuel price increases, and it'll offset a lot of the benefits people are looking for. And I don't know how you solve that problem, though. That's a real big chicken and the egg problem to me. Because if you drop the rates really low and we have that surge like we did with COVID,
we've seen it,
right?
Yep.
We know what's going to happen. It's going to be crazy. And with everybody looking for other places to be more affordable, Florida, Texas are two of the big areas where people are going to for affordability because of no state income tax and the type of lifestyle you can get in those two states compared to some other no income tax states. The other thing we're going to start doing from now on the show is we're also, besides the Fed reserve rate, I'm also going to be looking really closely at the 10-year Treasury bill, which is really what is more closely related to the interest rate increases. And what I'm going to be looking for in there is how much the gap is between what the Fed reserve rate is and what the 10-year Treasury bill is. A normal stable economy, the Treasury bill will be about 2% lower than the Fed reserve rate. If for any reason that they feel that the economy is not really doing is doing worse than what is being reflected in the records, you're going to see a wider gap than 2%. And right now we're at 6.49 for the Fed reserve rate. And I'm looking at the 10-year Treasury bill right now, and it went down 0.016 for the last second. But we're at 4.376. So we're right at that 2% rate. So what that's telling me is I don't know how the 10-year Treasury yield gets set, but whoever's doing that, or whoever the group of people are doing that, they're feeling, okay, the economy isn't doing that good. We got inflation and everything, but we're not seeing everybody falling off the cliff. Now, if we see that Treasury bill, if we're at 6.49 for the Fed reserve rate, and we see the Treasury bill, the Treasury, 10-year Treasury, with a 2.8% gap between the two, that's kind of telling you that the people that are setting the Treasury bill yield rate are not real happy with what they see coming down the road in the future, and they're trying to offset it.
So I just asked that question, Jim. And so the Treasury rate is not set by a single entity. It is determined continuously by global financial markets through supply and demand. And so the reason you see an increased yield on the Treasury is because the U.S. economy wants to sell more Treasuries. So there's not enough demand. And so how do they increase demand? The yield increases, make it a little bit more profitable. And then when there's a lot of demand for the Treasury, which means like global economics are in trouble, they're like, hey, we need a super safe spot for our investments. Let's buy the Treasury. When everyone is doing that, the yield goes down. Yeah. Right. And so that's a supply and demand thing. And then mortgage rates are almost tethered to the 10-year, right? They're tethered to the 10-year, and you might see some variation, and maybe that's the variation you're talking about, Jim. But if you're looking at like what's happening with mortgage rates today, bring up the 10-year Treasury chart, see which way it's moving. And if you're considering locking this morning or this afternoon or tomorrow, you're kind of watching that chart. Our Freddie chart we're watching because that's our thermometer, right? Like that's what we're using to just say what's going on with mortgage rates nationally, same benchmark. And that was up slightly, right, from last week, 0.02 up.
Which is negligible.
And it's kind of bounced. It's been 0.01, 0.02 for the past, 6 weeks. So it's basically just been flat for about a month and a half. Yeah.
So we're not seeing any major increases. Next week, because we didn't get a chance to do this, I want to talk about the Tech 2.0 supposedly boom that's going to happen in Florida because of the SpaceX IPO and the other IPOs coming out from all those AI groups that are coming out, Anthropic and OpenAI for those IPOs. There's a whole thousands of, or at least more than 1,000 people that became multi-millionaires from that IPO. And a lot of them, because they're based in California, California has a 13.3% tax rate on that money that they got from the IPO. And a lot of people are trying to take that money and move it elsewhere with the zero state income tax. And a lot of them are thinking about Florida, supposedly. And it isn't just all of Florida. I don't know. I didn't get that because I was wondering the same thing. But they're thinking not just Florida. They're thinking about our area of Florida. They're not thinking on the West Coast. They're not thinking Orlando. They're thinking Palm Beach, Miami, and Broward. And we're going to take a look at that next week and see if that really is going to help us or hurt us. And we're going to take a look at that.
As long as they don't homestead their property, I'm good.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think they'll have to wait 5 years under that bill, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm anxious to see how as we build into this reality of us voting on property taxes in Florida, what the ads are gonna be. The attack ads on both sides are gonna be fascinating.
Buckle up.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And that's gonna be the deciding factor, I think. Who's more convincing at spending their money and sending the messaging?
It's going to be around it's the whole waste, fraud, abuse. And so which side of that are you on?
Yep.
That's how it's going to shake out.
Pretty much. Yeah. It is going to be fascinating. And that will be another big lure for people to come to the state, even though it may not financially be a huge nut. It's a lure. You're like, I don't have to pay property tax there. And that's what they'll think, even though you do pay property tax. You're just not paying as much as you probably could. Yeah. We thank you for being with us every Saturday. Always remember, Florida Talk Real Estate is a .com. on Facebook, on YouTube. Share and like, because if you're buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, you need the best of the best. And you never know who you can be absolutely hooking up with a share and a like there, because everybody doesn't share every detail of their life. They might be in real problems, real trouble with their home. And if you can give them professional guidance, here's a great team. You could change their total arc, and you can do it for yourself too. Don't forget, write it down. Do what you got to do. It's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. The team includes Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Have a great weekend.
Hey,
Thank
you
you for
too.
everything.
Thank you, everybody. See you next Saturday.
July
for our
4th.
big
Beautiful.
July 4th.
We're going to be live.
show.
Maybe we
we'll
can
be
get
live.
that rocket scientist on.
We'll be live. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. If you've been listening, I think we all
Maybe a
doubt it.
brain surgery.
Chris Peterson
Yeah.
with the Florida Home Pros team. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
You guys as well, and everyone out there, enjoy your time.
Appreciate your time very much. And Jim DiPola with the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations, our fearless leader. Feel better. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. I didn't say it. Happy South Florida, everybody.
Oh, man, squeeze it in. Jimmy D, thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you,
Have a
too.
great weekend, guys.
Appreciate you always. Greek's going to join me. We're going to squeeze out a little sports show. So stick around for the next 2 hours if you'd like. There'll be a lot of nonsense thrown in there as well, I assure you.
A lot of World Cup talk, I'm sure.
I'm going to squeeze it in. Promise
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Nice.
And we'll be back next Saturday, July 4th, for a 250 year celebration of the country and lots of real estate talk, too. Yeah. Thanks for being with us. Have a great weekend. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. Have a great weekend. Locker Room's next on Real Radio.